Hi, um, it's Morgan again. So it's been, I don't know, like 3.5 or so months since my last YouTube video. I think the last time I did one was at the beginning of this past school semester, which would have been like mid-August or just before then or something like that. But I don't think I created one during the semester unless I managed to find the time to get one in, but with it being Stanford football season during my fall semesters, I get extremely busy with that as well as with college and stuff like that. So I just have to fix my necklaces because they're backwards right now since I sleep with them on rather than off. I just don't want to bother taking them on and off every night. Okay, there we go. So in terms of what I did um, since my last YouTube video, um, I can't quite remember what I um, said or talked about in my last YouTube video because it was so long ago. But I am just going to, well, first of all, it's the first year of 2020, January 2020. So happy New Year to anyone who's out there watching this live right now, or to anyone who watches this after I upload it to YouTube. Um, so yeah, 2020. We finally got to 2020 and almost the end of the century. After this year, it will be a new century, century of the 20s. Um, I'll just say that. Or no, that's not right. Sorry, it already is century of the 20s. What am I trying to say? Oh, it will be the end of another decade. There we go. Because 2000 to 2010 was one decade of the 20s. 2010 to this year, 2020 is the second decade of the 20s. There we go. The end of another decade of the 20s. Okay, managed to figure that out. So I've been doing a lot since my last video. Um, Overall school semester, this past fall school semester went good. Um, I passed all my classes, all with A's and B's. I didn't have any C's, which was nice. And The Stanford football season was all right. They didn't win their last two games against Notre Dame and Cal, and they definitely could have won both those games because they were ahead, and then bad luck happened, and the opposite team scored and came back to win both of those games. But they had still some good wins this season, but unfortunately, they weren't able to qualify for a bowl game like they have the past 7 seasons or something, maybe more than that. Um, so that was disappointing, but they still had a fairly good win-loss like they ratio. They still had a fairly good season. Um, so yeah, they just unfortunately had like a lot of injuries and like 27 injuries or something like that. So that was too bad. But I'm looking forward to next football season. They have a good second string quarterback in David Mills. Um, and I think their first string, KJ Costello, I think he's a senior, I think. So I don't think he'll be there next season. So yeah, it'll probably be David Mills. And then I think they had the third string quarterback and a fourth string quarterback as well. I don't think the fourth string quarterback, I think his name was Tobin, and I forget his last name, didn't play this past season. So I didn't really get to see him play. So I don't know what he's like as a quarterback, but I think they got a lot of good new players and like the recruiting portion after the season finished. So I'm looking forward to next Stanford football season, as I always do. And also, um, I won't be in school anymore because next semester is my final semester at my college, and then I graduate in May 2020. So that's big. And then yeah, and then I already have a house, that I'm gonna move into the summer after I graduate, so yeah, that's all very exciting, but, yeah, so this school semester went good, uh, yeah, I just, in terms of, like, my classes, I was taking 6 different classes. One of them was a term class. It was probably the easiest class. It was special topics problem solving, although special topics yoga was fairly easy too. Like, those 2 classes were, like, the 2 easiest classes, and then the other classes were a little harder, um, but I passed all of them, like I said, with A's and B's. So, uh, yeah, so that was good. One of them, exercise physiology, I was actually retaking because I had not passed it the prior semester, I believe, or a semester before, something like that. Um, and I'd gotten an F, and so I had to retake it. But luckily, it was a different professor, and I thought he was a better professor. He didn't assign as much work. So I liked how he taught the class a little better than the other professor. Um, so yeah, so that was good. Sorry, by the way, if there's kind of this big glare right here. It's just the lamp that's on next to me so that I can see like the my computer and everything in this room. I'm in the living room, and as you can see in the background, there's still Christmas lights up. So we, as you've probably guessed, we haven't taken our Christmas decorations down. We still have our Christmas tree, um, even though it's couple of days past Christmas. Um, but my parents will probably do that when I go back to school, which I will actually go back to school this Sunday evening because I have to be back by next Monday, which is January 6th. Um, and I guess classes start on that day, possibly, or the next day, or a day later, or something. It depends on my class schedule. Um, so yeah, I am sorry, I am just gonna run to the bathroom really quick and then be right back because I need to use the bathroom. I'll be quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just really had to take care of my business. Okay. Um, so yeah, so what was I saying? Okay, well I forget what I was last saying, but anyway, so I think I was talking about the school semester, this past school semester. Um, so yeah, so I enjoyed this past semester. I really liked a lot of the classes I was taking, and I'm looking forward to pretty much all the classes I'll be taking next semester as well. I'm going to be taking some interesting ones like history of Western art, um, and I'm going to be taking biomechanics. Um, I've always loved math, so I'm looking forward to the calculus, especially since I've already been doing calculus on my own. Um, so, so yeah. And then I'm also taking World Wisdom Traditions, which is like about religions of the world, basically. And I'm looking forward to that one because I always find other religions really fascinating, some more than others. But I just really find like looking at another religion and another whole another culture really interesting. Um, so yeah. Um, uh, so yeah, so that's this past semester. And yeah, and then in terms of like Christmas, I got off of school at like around December 8th or something like that, fairly around there somewhere. And then we always have our annual Christmas party, so that happened this year, December 14th. And some of my old high school buddies from my first high school came, some of Samantha's high school buddies came, and then pretty much everyone else were adults. And I've gotten to know a lot of the adults that come. Um, and of course, my tennis coach Carmen and her husband Ryan came, so I talked to them quite a bit. And yeah, because yeah, Carmen's my tennis coach. And Ryan also is a former tennis coach of mine, as well. He's not my tennis coach anymore, but he was many years ago, or yeah, a decent amount of years ago. And then let's see what else. So yeah, and then Christmas Day was was fun. We just did our usual thing, like slept late, woke up, opened presents early afternoon, mid afternoon, had dinner, um, stuff like that. And I can't remember whether we watched a Christmas movie Christmas Day or not. I forget. Oh no, we watched a Bones episode. I remember. Because one of the Christmas gifts I got was the complete collection of all 12 seasons of Bones on DVD, the TV show Bones. And I love that show. Oh my god, it's so good. And we loved watching it as a family, but then it got taken off of Netflix and we hadn't finished it. We were not nearly close to, not even close to finishing it. So now my parents and me included have forgotten a lot of the first like seasons 1 through 3 or 4 or whatever. So we're gonna start all over at the pilot and just rewatch it up until where we left off and then finish it off. Um, all through the 12 seasons. So that's going to take a while, because after I graduate, I'm actually going to be moving out of the house, and moving into what used to be my aunt's house. And that house is in Oakland, actually. So I'm going to be moving to a whole different location. It's still in California. It's not too, I mean, it's a little bit over an hour drive from our house, meaning my family's house, to there. Um, so yeah, but it's just in a nice little town. It's a fairly pretty nice neighborhood. And I'm excited. It will bring back memories because, like I said, it used to be my aunt's house. She's no longer alive, unfortunately. So I'm sure the first couple of days, few days, I might cry a little bit sometimes on some of those days because it'll just bring back a lot of memories. for me of the times that I visited my aunt and stuff like that. Um, but her horse is still alive, and one of her dogs is still alive, so I'll always be reminded of her through them um, until they pass away themselves, which hopefully won't be anytime soon. Um, so, yeah, so, and then New Year's Eve, we didn't really do anything other than um, like watch fireworks on TV. That's about it. New Year's Day, uh, which is today. Um, so far, I've at least just been chilling at the house. My parents had a brunch thing in the city in San Francisco from noon to 3. So that probably has already ended. And then after that, mom wanted to go see the lights around like Union Square and certain parts of San Francisco and stuff like that. So they'll probably be home later, like after 6 possibly, because it's still light, but it's cloudy, so it kind of looks like it's dark right now, but it is light outside. It's just cloudy. It's not raining, but it's cloudy. It's a little cold, so I'm staying indoors for the moment. Um, Sometimes I have the house to myself, my parents are gone, I would walk down into Montclair and get a Starbucks or something like that. Sometimes I get Starbucks and Mountain Mike's Pizza as well, like for dinner or whatever. But we have leftover Chinese food from last night when we went out for Chinese food for dinner, so I'm just gonna have that for dinner. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say other than Happy New Year and Happy 2020 to everyone. I hope for all of, all of you, you have a great 2020. You have a good year. Stay healthy. You do fun things. You accomplish some of your New Year's resolutions if you have any. Um, and enjoy the year 2020. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good year for me. Um, since I'm graduating in May, I will have finished college during this year, and I don't really have any plans to go to graduate school. So yeah, yeah, all right. Well, okay, well, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. It's almost the 18-minute mark for this video, so I think I will. Oh, I did have a riding lesson yesterday out at my stable, or not my stable, the stable that I ride at. And it was actually one of the best lessons. My instructor agreed with me. We agreed that it was one of the best lessons I ever had. Um, and I thought it was a really good lesson. I I may have been a little too chatty, but that doesn't bother Jessica too much. She's perfectly happy to tell me to shut up or to tell me to be quiet, and that doesn't bother me. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear, but our dog is barking right now in a different room, and now he's coming down the hall. You'll probably start to hear him now. Um, yeah, yeah. I have to check if the door is open for him so that he can go out. Um, okay. Well, I should probably open the door for him because he's running around here whining and wanting to go out, it seems. Okay. So yeah, I think I'll end it there. All right. Happy New Year, everyone, again, and peace.